right, everyone, welcome to Simply Bitcoin, the channel that breaks down all the daily Bitcoin news from Twitter, the daily fail, the meme review, software releases, the websites by plebes. We've got it all. Drop us a like and subscribe. All right, guys, let's kick it off with the numbers. Here we go. All right, we are currently at a block height of 666,816. The current Bitcoin price, 36,495. Sorry, Satoshi. Chain rewrite days, 578. The total lightning capacity, 1,033.30. And the Bitcoin versus gold market cap, 5.65%. So,
man,
still holding steady here, guys.
I'm bored as hell. So is Satoshi. We've just been going sideways. Unfortunately, you guys haven't heard. No, you did hear him yesterday when he was voicing his opinions on Craig Wright, the chicken, aka fake Satoshi. Anyways, Phil, it's time for
the daily fail. Today's daily fail is energy FUD. Okay. So we've got this nice long thread of complete garbage of a person who just wants to stick to their narrative that Bitcoin is boiling the oceans and destroying the earth. And so people have set up entire warehouses of computer hardware dedicated to run 24/7 consuming power and performing the trial computations required by the protocol. Globally, this consumes nation-state levels of energy to keep it all running. Well, you know what? We should just totally shut down the internet right now because all those data centers, they consume energy. And that's boiling the oceans. And you know what? We're going to shut down all the plants that make everything because everything is using energy in order to produce something, and we can't boil the oceans. Like this utter nonsense when people sit there and point their finger at Bitcoin and, oh, it's destroying everything. And then they go over, to their, they go over to the store and they use the credit card machine, which is using voltage, right? In a building, which is consuming energy, using all kinds of utilities which are consuming energy, right? Going onto a network which is also consuming energy, going back to a building, and so on and so forth. So look, this BS, these people, it's sad, it's ridiculous. They aren't going to stop coming. And at the end of the day, for me, I always dismantle their argument with how much energy does the current banking system take up?
Yeah.
Right? And we have to include every single bank. We have to include all the nation banks. We have to include all the credit unions. We have to include all the utilities that they're using. Sorry, that's what's being used.
Man, this argument, it keeps being brought up, but it's been debunked so many times, right? And it's very simple. Bitcoin uses excess energy, okay? Bitcoin cannot use energy that's in high demand. So by its why? Because then you'll be outpriced by other miners that have cheaper electricity. So Bitcoin uses isolated energy pockets located all across the world that energy would have gone to waste anyway. Right? So if anything, Bitcoin's a little green. For the first time in human history, we have figured out a way to monetize excess energy, right? So natural gas is a very good example. Natural gas, if you're extracting too much natural gas, you technically already have to burn that. That goes into the atmosphere. Now, natural gas manufacturers could figure out how to use that excess energy and put it into Bitcoin mining, right? So it kind of sets a floor for if you have any type of excess energy, before you would just let that energy go to waste. Now you can monetize that energy, right? He doesn't, and this is the biggest propaganda from these people. They don't know what they're talking about. If you were educated on the matter, you would know that by its very nature, you need to use the cheapest electricity source. Therefore, you have to use excess energy, right? Because energy in high demand, right? Basic supply and demand. If there's a lot of demand, exactly. It's very costly. If there's a bunch of supply, aka excess energy, then the price is very low, right? So it's been debunked 100 times. F that guy. And we're going to hear this over and over again. This is going to be a talking point, right? And in the news part of the segment, which we're going to get to, we're going to get more into that. Phil, it's time for
the daily meme review.
Alrighty, buddy. We had so much fun reviewing the pictures yesterday. We kind of wanted to do that again. I don't know. Let us know if you guys like videos or pictures more. Let us know in the comments. Anyway, this meme was brought
to us. Doesn't matter. We're going to review them all.
We're going to review them all anyways, right?
We're going to review them all.
Exactly.
But let us know anyways. You're right. Fine.
Exactly. So this meme was brought to us by one of the two Simply Bitcoin meme lords. Is brought to us by Greg Zag. Check it out. You versus the guy she told. It's pretty good. I like it. I'm gonna give that an 8. What about you, Phil?
Well, it's Greg, right?
It is Greg.
It is Greg. He's been giving me a hard time. Unfortunately, I'm biased and influenced as a judge.
Oh!
7.
I'm gonna tag him tomorrow, bro. Oh my god. Okay.
He can take that for starting the release gate on his podcast. So there you go.
Damn.
Ridiculous. Okay.
The meme lords have a higher bar, right? That's just what it is. So Zender gives us a meme, says, never forget you've been through hell and back. He's totally right. Don't sell out now. And man, I love this meme. 2018.
This is a great meme.
Wow. 2020,
okay.
March 2020, August. You're so lucky. What, dude? That was Phil. That was a 9.2 from me. What about you?
I'm giving that one a solid 10. I have no choice, because to me anyways, that is exactly, that totally describes and I can even say that I spoke to somebody that was like, man, you're so lucky that you got in. Like, really, I'm not, man.
and
really,
we've been telling you for 3, at least I've been telling everybody like a crazy person, dude, Bitcoin. And now when Bitcoin reaches 40K, they're like, should I buy? And then when it reaches 100K, you know, they're going to be like, dude, I bought Bitcoin. So yeah, it's total it's not, sorry, I cursed. I'm going to bleep that out. It's total BS, man. It's not that we got lucky, dude. We believed in something, we hold it, and that takes a lot of determination. So you're absolutely right, Phil.
It's still not over. You know what I mean? Like, this is only the beginning. Like, people don't understand the whole point, you know, of Bitcoin. So this is simply what it does, and it's going to continue to do it.
Absolutely, because they see it. You're absolutely right, Phil. They see it as an investment rather than opting out completely, right? And as hodlers, when you start, and I feel like there's a crossover point, once you start looking at it as an opt-out, then the price isn't so, like, it doesn't concern you as much anymore, right? That's, you know, it's the fact that you're taking self-possession of your energy, of your time, of your wealth. You're absolutely right, Phil. That was a great point. And Phil, it's time for the Daily News, sponsored by
Crypto Cloaks.
All right, everybody, we got a bunch of news for today. So it's not as positive as yesterday, but we are Simply Bitcoin. We cover all the news, right? So this was the message embedded in the devil block of yesterday, right? And check this out. The message that the miners put in, the miners that found the block, was do not be overcome by evil, but overcome evil with good. Again, you know, if you put all the religiousness aside, I thought it was super cool because they added that to the devil block, right?
Sure. And
the next piece of news, Phil, and I want to get your thoughts on this, right? We've been calling this on Simply Bitcoin. We have said that the inevitable result of censorship is even more censorship. It doesn't just stop, right? And this is absolutely terrifying. Biden vows to eliminate banking regulations that require banks to make decisions based on impartial, risk-based standards rather than political or reputational concerns, arguing that banks should be free to refuse service to conservatives. Again, arguing that banks should be free to refuse services to political opponents. That is absolutely terrifying. Once you cut off someone's bank account, in this world, everything's done by card, you cut off their life. You cut off their ability to live, right? So it's absolutely terrifying. And these are the people that are claiming they're fighting fascism. That is fascism, my friend. Anyways, again, we just want to clarify, we are Simply Bitcoin. We don't lean left. We don't lean right. We lean Bitcoin. Because we lean for Bitcoin, we stand for freedom of speech, because that's what Bitcoin allows, right? And the fact that someone is censoring someone's ability to spend on transactions, regardless of their political view, we feel that's wrong. Phil, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I mean, that's, you know, again, doesn't make a difference, you know, red or blue, because Bitcoin is apolitical. But in this particular case, I believe that banks kind of owe that they should be apolitical as well. At the end of the day, they're there to provide a service. They are paid to provide a service, right? And as a result, I'm not there to hear their freaking political point of views, and I'm not there to suffer their political point of views. I'm there to transact regardless of what my political views are and regardless of what their political views are. Right? This is like a whole big problem that's all of a sudden happened where everybody thinks that because, like because they have a stage that, I'm going to sit there and tell everyone what they should think politically because it's my view, because they have a huge audience. We've seen that in sports. We've seen it all over the place. I think it's ridiculous. You're not paid to give your political view. Nobody cares. Absolutely. You're paid to do a job. And in that case, they're paid to provide a banking service. Nothing more, nothing less. So if they choose to do this, then people have a choice as well to go and use a different service from a different company that values their business regardless of what their political leanings may be.
Absolutely. And as strong as this country, the United States of America has this, it's literally in the Constitution, freedom of speech. The banking system still falls to their architecture, which is centralization. With Bitcoin, you can't even censor, right? Even if you don't want to, right? So it's a great Bitcoin. It's a great Bitcoin advertisement, right? Like always. And that being said, they're going to go after.
Here we go.
They're going to go after Bitcoin inevitably because they can't censor it. And here is Miss Yellen right on cue going after Bitcoin. Let's check out what she says.
Cryptocurrencies are a particular concern. I think many are used, at least in a transactions sense, mainly for illicit financing. And I think we really need to examine ways in which we can curtail their use and make sure that anti-money laundering doesn't occur through those channels.
So listen, Yellen is, first of all, she has a conflict of interest, right? This is the speaking fees that she took after she left the Federal Reserve. She got paid $112,000 from UBS. She got paid, from ING, $225,000, from City National Bank, $112,000, from Citi, $217,000, from Credit Suisse, $292,000, from Bank of America. I think it's hundreds of thousands. It
doesn't matter. It's a waste of money.
Thousands of dollars. It's a complete conflict of interest. And I just want to point out that Ben Kaufman is an awesome Bitcoin developer. Look, he says it best, right? They hate Bitcoin because it gives people an escape from their control and they want you to obey and starve, right? And he pulls out and he's referencing, basically Yellen saying Bitcoin is the problem, right? And look, it's like they're not giving you an option. You can't even use the free money, right? Which is you could spend Bitcoin with whoever you want. You don't need to ask permission. And you can't use the traditional banking system, which is already broken because they want to control what you do. And it's not like these banks are guilty what they're accusing Bitcoin of. US banks handle trillions of dollars. That's more than the market cap of Bitcoin. The hypocrisy here is absolutely mind-blowing. A congressional investigation into the 2016 U.S. presidential election unearthed evidence that major banks processed $2 trillion in transactions despite suspecting that they were connected to illegal activity. But Miss Yellen has the gall.
Their use to make sure that anti-money laundering doesn't occur.
She has the gall to say that. She has the gall to go on TV and claim that Bitcoin is being used for money laundering. And she mentions nothing of the $2 trillion of illegal transactions that were just uncovered. Nothing. Fiat isn't the problem. Bitcoin is the problem. What are your thoughts on this, Phil?
She's a horrible liar, a misinformed liar that unfortunately has a stage. And the worst part is there's a lot of people that look at somebody like her and actually, respect what it is that she has to say. She's just a mouthpiece. She's just a puppet. She's paid to toe the line, and that's exactly what she does. It is disgusting to see the banks pay millions of dollars in total to hear this person speak. We sit there and again, it's like we sit there and talk about all the, the inefficiencies in society. Why the hell are we paying this person to talk to us and lie to us when we could be doing better things with that money. Shame on the banks.
Exactly. And
I
it just,
swear to God, like, shame on them, shame on everybody that sits there and thinks that this is the right thing to do. What the hell is Janet Yellen going to come and explain to you that you can't fucking figure out on Google?
and why
Really?
and,
You're gonna, like, what insight? Like, listen to what she just said. What insight did she just give? She gave you wrong information about what's happening with illicit activity and transactions. Like, her whole life is about money and finance. Like, it's disgusting, and people sit there and they just eat this right up.
They eat it right up. And look, we're Simply Bitcoin. We want to give you a neutral perspective. So let's look at the actual numbers, right? Let's look at the actual numbers. In 2019, criminal activity represented 2.1% of all cryptocurrency transactions, or roughly $21.4 billion worth of transactions. In 2020, the criminal share of all cryptocurrency activity fell to just 0.34%, or $10 billion in transactions. And what Dan Held said just, completely summarizes it, right? So 0.3% of all cryptocurrency activity in 2020 was illicit. 90% of US dollars has cocaine on them. And of course, he's kind of joking a little bit, but the currency of choice for criminals is the US dollar. The blockchain is terrible for a criminal because your crime is forever recorded on the
Everyone can see it.
Exactly, on the most unmutable ledger that has ever existed. Exactly. So
they're trying to trick you. They're trying to trick you into staying in a system that makes you poorer all the time. Like, they're trying to trick all of us.
It's absolutely infuriating, and the level of propaganda that's coming out. We've been covering it. We've been talking about it. It's just completely infuriating. This is going to keep escalating. But remember, we're the vanguard. We always cover it here first on Simply Bitcoin. That being said, Phil, on a lighter note, there was a pretty big software release today. Why don't you tell everybody about it?
Software releases. So today we've got Blue Wallet version 6.0.3 that was released, and the details to that will be in the show notes down below.
Awesome. Thank you, Phil. Guys, I know it was a little bit negative today. It wasn't negative. It just is the news. It is what it is. If you buy and hold Bitcoin, you can opt out of all this BS. Anyways, guys, if you like this show, don't forget to smash that like button. If you guys love this show, subscribe. And of course, we'll see you tomorrow for another episode of Simply Bitcoin.